the next 2 weeks, from August 10th to August 21st. Let's start by looking at a very specific, glaring detail: the arrival of Hudson and his immediate friction with Jocelyn over the CEO position at Jax's company. On the surface, it looks like a standard corporate power grab. Hudson strides into town, flexing his business muscles, and Jocelyn stands her ground, refusing to let him intimidate her out of her father's legacy. But what if Hudson's boardroom ambitions are nothing more than a brilliant smokescreen? That's where things become interesting. I strongly suspect that Hudson does not actually care about the CEO chair at all. His confrontation with Jocelyn is just a convenient excuse to embed himself in the upper echelons of Port Charles society while he hunts for his true target. If you ask me, Hudson is looking for information regarding Delilah, and he is using every resource available to track her down. Instead of just seeking out Ava Jerome to ask questions about the past, I believe Hudson already knows a significant portion of the truth. He is meticulously following a trail of breadcrumbs, and that trail leads directly to a little girl named Phoebe. Just imagine the catastrophic fallout if this is true. If Hudson is indeed Phoebe's biological father, and he finally locates her, the entire world that Harrison Chase and Brooklyn Quartermain have built will be turned upside down. Brooklyn has done everything in her power to protect her family, but she cannot fight a biological father armed with the truth and mysterious corporate backing. If this detail about Hudson's true motives is accurate, it could explain a lot about the other random events happening around town. For instance, let's look at Cody Bell. Cody just happened to cross paths with Serena Baldwin, leading to the shocking revelation of their half-sibling connection. But in a town like Port Charles, it may not be a coincidence. Something feels off about the timing of this family reunion. I do not believe this meeting was just a twist of fate. Serena might know significantly more than she is letting on. I suspect Cody is slowly beginning to realize that he is being used as a pawn in a much larger, pre-planned game. If Serena was strategically placed in Cody's path to distract him or manipulate him, we have to ask ourselves, who is pulling her strings? And the web of secrets only grows wider. Let's connect another crucial dot. Alexis Davis and Diane Miller are currently in the process of hiring a new lawyer for their prestigious legal firm. It seems like a minor throwaway detail to flesh out the background of the legal world, right? I highly doubt it. The bigger question is, why introduce a brand new legal mind right when the town is drowning in criminal cases, corporate espionage, and custody battles? I suspect this new hire is not just coming to Port Charles to file briefs and represent petty criminals. This new character is likely carrying a massive secret directly tied to one of the major, earth-shattering cases currently rocking the town. They are an inside agent, positioned perfectly to either save someone from prison or ensure their absolute destruction. This brings us to the big reveal theory, the central secret that could shatter the lives of some of our favorite characters. There is a puppet master pulling the strings, and the chaos surrounding Willow Kane is the perfect example of this manipulation. We all know that Jacinda Bracken spiked Willow's drink, likely hoping to turn the Congresswoman into a docile, easily controlled victim. But I think Jacinda has made a fatal miscalculation. Instead of making Willow weak, the drug is going to strip away Willow's inhibitions and ignite a terrifying, extreme reaction. I do not think Willow is just going to pass out or stumble around. I predict she is going to. When she loses control, the victim will become the attacker. I can easily see a scenario where a drug-fueled Willow physically attacks Jacinda, turning the tables in a violent, unpredictable way. But the fallout from this spiked drink goes so much deeper than a physical altercation. Michael Corinthos is going to witness this madness, and I do not think he is going to play the role of the protective, blind husband this. Michael will realize that Jacinda has crossed an unforgivable line by drugging the mother of his children. However, instead of just cutting ties with Jacinda quietly, Michael will actively seek to expose her and destroy her life. This is where the danger multiplies. If Michael turns his back on Jacinda and tries to ruin her, Jacinda will instantly become the most dangerous person in town, fueled by a desperate need for revenge. And who is waiting in the wings to take advantage of this explosive Corinthos Kane warfare? Jack Brennan. Brennan is going to step up and offer Michael his help in dealing with Jacinda and the fallout of Willow's action. But there may be more to the story. I strongly suspect Brennan's offer is a beautifully disguised trap. He is looking to exploit the war between Michael and Willow to achieve his own sinister objectives. If Michael accepts Brennan's help, he will unknowingly step into a massive snare, giving Brennan the leverage he needs to control the Corinthos family's political and financial assets. Meanwhile, Nina Reeves is going to find herself trapped in the dead center of this nightmare. I do not think Nina will simply play the role of a passive peacemaker. I predict Nina will discover that Willow is preparing to do something incredibly dangerous, perhaps a retaliatory strike against Jacinda or Drew, and Nina will desperately try to stop her. But Willow is already paranoid and volatile. If Willow catches Nina interfering in her plans, the fragile, newly repaired relationship between mother and daughter will instantly shatter. Nina risks losing Willow forever, just by trying to save her from herself. If this grand theory of hidden agendas and puppet masters is true, the aftermath will reshape the very foundation of Port Charles. Who loses everything? The people who think they hold all the power. Let's look at the mob syndicate. Sonny Corinthos is standing at a major crossroads. I actually believe Sonny genuinely wants to leave the mafia lifestyle behind and find some semblance of peace. But the shocking twist here is that Jason Morgan will not agree with that decision. Jason knows that if Sonny simply walks away, a dangerous power vacuum will open, inviting ruthless enemies into their territory. Instead of Sonny convincing Jason to leave the underworld, Jason is going to secretly take over the exact territories and operations that Sonny is trying to abandon. This creates a massive silent shift in power. And who does Jason turn to in this dark new chapter? Carly Spencer. Jason is going to make Carly his ultimate confidant in this secret mob takeover. Carly will become the only person who truly understands what Jason is preparing for, placing her right back in the line of fire. She will be the queen of a shadow empire, hiding the truth from Sonny, while helping Jason solidify his grip on the criminal underworld. Over at the Quartermain estate, a different kind of war is brewing, and it involves the next generation. Drew Kane is playing a very dirty game. I suspect Drew is going to use Danny Morgan to apply intense psychological pressure on Jason. Drew doesn't just want to protect his own son, Scout. He wants to actively separate Danny from Jason to gain a massive advantage in their escalating brotherly war. But Drew is underestimating the kids. While Drew is busy manipulating the board, Scout is going to find unexpected comfort and support from Rocco Falconeri. I do not think Rocco is just going to be a supportive friend in the background. Rocco is sharp, and I believe he is going to accidentally discover a crucial detail about Drew's master plan, a detail that all the adults have completely overlooked. If Rocco uncovers this information, he instantly becomes the most important piece on the board, holding the key to dismantling Drew's entire conspiracy against Jason. The dynamic between these teenagers is going to heavily impact the adult warfare. And we absolutely cannot ignore the intense, high-stakes psychological warfare happening at General Hospital between Britt Westbourne and Police Chief Anna Devane. Anna thinks she has Britt backed into a corner, completely isolated and defeated. But I think Britt is preparing to launch a massive, calculated counterattack. Instead of letting Anna dictate her fate, Britt is going to fight back with everything she has. This is where the newly arrived doctor, Tristan Roberts, comes into play. I don't think Tristan is just going to be a handsome doctor offering Britt a shoulder to cry on. Tristan is going to help Britt realize that Anna is hiding a massive, dark secret of her own, likely related to her hallucinations or her off-the-books mission. With Tristan's help, Britt and Rocco are going to inadvertently create a massive turning point. A chance encounter or a shared piece of information between them will allow Britt to dodge a dangerous trap set by the authorities. At the exact same time, this maneuver will force Anna to realize that her grand, secretive plan has been completely compromised. The war between Britt and Anna is not ending. If anything, it has just barely begun, and the hospital is going to be ground zero for their explosive battles. Finally, let's talk about the younger crowd, because Trina Robinson is currently sitting on a ticking time bomb. Everyone thinks Trina's current anger and stress are solely related to Curtis Ashford's legal verdict and the family drama. But I suspect there is something much darker at play. Trina is going to receive a terrifying letter, a disturbing gift, or a chilling message from her stalker. This will be the moment Trina realizes that the person obsessively watching her is much closer than she ever imagined. To cope with the stress and manage her public image, Trina and Giovanni Gio Palmieri are engaging in a fake PR romance. But this marketing strategy is about to become a highly dangerous game. Simon is not going to just back down and let Gio take the spotlight. Meanwhile, Emma, Scorpio Drake's jealousy is going to reach a boiling point as she watches her boyfriend pretend to be in love with Trina. But the most terrifying question is this. What if Simon already knows that Trina and Gio's relationship is entirely fake? If Simon discovers the truth, he won't just be a jealous rival. He will use that information to turn their PR stunt into a real physical confrontation. Jocelyn Jax is also facing an impossible choice. Carly might have manipulated Jax into offering Jocelyn the CEO position, hoping the corporate world would finally pull her daughter away from the dangerous WSB. If Jocelyn discovers Carly's interference, she will feel incredibly manipulated. But I do not think Jocelyn is going to quit the WSB just because she has a fancy new desk. Jocelyn is stubborn, and she is going to try to prove that she can run a major corporation while simultaneously operating as a covert agent, a balancing act that is bound to end in disaster. The truth could be closer than anyone realizes. From Willow transforming from a victim into a vengeful attacker, to Hudson closing in on Phoebe, to Jason building a secret empire behind Sunny's back, the board is set. Someone may not be ready for what's coming next. If I have to ask the biggest question of all, it is this. Who is truly controlling these pieces from behind the scenes? Because I have a sinking feeling that everything we are watching right now is just the very first layer of a much larger, much deadlier chain of secrets. Stay tuned, because Port Charles is about to explode.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.